A man I like to call and who I've dubbed the Great White Gringo, Mr. Terence Reilly! What's up, buddy?
You didn't say Grince, it said Gringo.
No, I knew.
What's up, Teach?
How are you, bro?
Listen, I gave you the name. I should know what it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
The teleprompter said the Great White Grins. Did you think I was going to say Grins?
I was wondering.
No.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
The Great White Gringo. And the reason why I gave you that name is obviously, Patrick Reilly, your nephew's to Manuel Quesada.
Yes, sir.
Of, Quesada Cigars, who, by the way, called me last week.
No kidding.
Very interesting conversation.
Really?
Yes, I was surprised. I think the last time I talked to him is when we had him on KMA Talk
Yeah,
Radio.
when I was there.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of Manolo Quesada makes Timeless and Ferio Tego. And those will be coming soon this spring and summer. If I'm on the camera, I'm going to pitch it.
How's that for a segue?
I'm just going to make
No.
sure
Well done.
we bring that in.
Listen,
Anyway, TJ.
He's a great man.
Manuel Quesada has always been a great person and a guy who has just been so nice and a pleasure to talk to. One of my mentors, Sal Fontana, loved him. He was the first to introduce me to him. In fact, Lou Rothman was on the same show with him.
They were great friends.
Talked highly about him.
Yeah.
And, I'm just going to have a little moment here because Sal Fontana, who actually introduced me to Manuel Quesada at one of my early trade shows, this is the month of the 10-year anniversary of his passing. Yeah, he actually passed
I can't
away.
believe
Really?
it's been 10
It's
years.
been 10 years?
It's been 10 years since
Oh,
February.
my God.
So, yeah, Sal was one of those guys who probably would have been the most proud of me right now in this moment of what we're doing here.
I can guarantee you he is.
I know.
He was an incredible guy.
Great guy, man, and I miss him. So, Terence, what's up? So you are with, Agonorsa Leaf.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much dubbed by yourself. That was kind of one of the first things that happened when you went over to the company was you wanted to brand the name and you made the name Agonorsa Leaf. How did you come up with that being the name?
Well, so the growing company is called Agonorsa, and every company tries to separate itself in its own way. And for us, what makes us different is the leaf we grow. So it made sense to make that the focus of the brand, is the tobacco that we grow. And so we named it, the company after the growing company, which made more sense, I think. Casa Fernandez it's a nice name, but...
a lot of Fernandez.
Yeah, a lot of Fernandez.
There's a lot of Fernandez.
There's Osos Fernandez, my cousin.
Yes.
There's AJ Fernandez, of course, who's very famous.
It's like chins in a phone book.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Fernandez.
So we moved to Agonorsa Leaf. It starts with A, so it's at the top of the list. And,
like Acme.
Yeah.
Right below Acme.
Yeah. So all that helps, and it's
So
been
for
really
everyone
successful.
who's perusing the phone book,
Yeah.
looking for cigar recommendations, they're going to find.
Yeah, they'll see us right away. We're right at the top.
Well, for many years as a company, Casa Fernandez kind of flew under the radar, didn't have a lot of stir, a lot of talk about, and all of a sudden Agonorsa Leaf is hot. People are talking about it. You have some releases such as the Lunatic, Night Watch, the Aniversario Cuba 109, Supreme Leaf. What do you attribute, all of a sudden, this shift now of this kind of culture that now the Agonorsa Leaf has developed in consumers that wasn't existent before?
Well, I think we just brought attention to the brand. Like you said, it flew under the radar. The best cigar you've never heard of is one you don't really smoke. And so we worked with our retail partners. We worked with a lot of social media towards our consumers, and tried to show them what we're doing and why it's different and why it's special. And I think that's really the key thing. At the end of the day, I work for the company. But when you or a consumer says, "Hey, Agonorsa is really great. You got to smoke an Agonorsa. They're doing great stuff." That has a lot of power, and that's what we're aiming for. The only metric of our success is the enthusiasm for the product from our retail partners and consumers.
Terence, let me ask you. I think we've had similar experiences.
Yes,
We were not born into tobacco.
that's true.
We didn't major in agronomy.
Yeah,
And we've also had the good fortune to work for companies. And particularly my experience with the Sherman family was an awesome experience because you got to work for a family legacy and you kind of balance that outsider versus insider. Part of the family, but technically not part of the family.
Sure.
An employee, but you treat it like a principal.
Absolutely.
And I think you have really embraced that that philosophy. And I was just curious, how is that for you? How do you balance and straddle that line inside and outside?
Well, again, for me, it's really principally about myself. I put a lot of pride in what I do, and I think that's the number one thing. Is that whether I'm working, I've been working since I was 14, and I worked at McDonald's, and I've worked at all sorts of different places, and whatever job I've had, I've always put a lot of effort into it, and I always feel if I was the person coming up and dealing with somebody like myself, I want them to behave the way I try to act, and so I think that's a big part of it. And then again, also you realize that you have the objective viewpoint of seeing yourself outside of when you're in the family company. Sometimes it's easy to get trapped in that thought process if everybody sees things the same way, and you can kind of take yourself out of that to some degree and be like, okay, well, I know that we think this way, but there's this whole other viewpoint that you're not seeing. So I think there's a nice balance to it where you're able to kind of be objective to some degree, but also, by putting blood, sweat, and tears into it, you have that connection with it as well, and so you care. And that's really the biggest thing is intent and concern. I mean, does this person care about the company, and that's what when we hire people, that's what we always look at, and for me, that's a big thing. Is that are you trying to do what's best for your partners, for the people you work for your consumers, and hopefully everything works out.
I got to share with everybody the reason why I give you the name, the Great White Gringo.
Oh,
right? Because this is a true story. When Terence Reilly first came on board, I didn't know who he was. He reached out to me.
Neither did anyone else.
Yeah, neither did anyone else, exactly. Some Irish guy. I thought he was coming to sell me beer. I had no idea. But no, honestly, he reached out to me. He set a meeting. I met him in our Pompano location.
Yeah, Pompano store, yeah.
And he was telling me about how he had just started working with, at that time, I think it was still called SAG.
Yeah, exactly.
It hadn't changed the name, which a name that's not relating to any consumer in the universe,
yeah,
right? SAG,
yeah.
Right? So he wanted to work with me. He wanted to do deals. He wanted to do something. And I liked his gumption, but I said, look, I've tried. Listen, Fonseca is a great name. It had been around for a while. That was one of the key names they had at the time. And I'm like, look, I've tried selling this brand now multiple times. It just doesn't sell. The consumers don't relate to it. It doesn't go. He basically wouldn't leave my shop until I agreed to give him a chance, show me all the new stuff
Good
they were
man.
making. Yeah,
Good
at
man.
that time.
Yeah.
Stay till the end.
Yeah.
Quesada. I think the first one was the Quesada white boxes.
Yeah,
they're
the
showing me.
Tributo, yeah.
And all this stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. I think within a year, we had started doing more business with, now they had become Quesada cigars, in that 1 year than I had probably done maybe 5 or 6 years combined before that. So for me, that's why he became the Great White Gringo. And not only that, but through the years of our relationship working together, we've always been very good at bouncing ideas. Like he's one of these guys that will work it. He comes to my office when he doesn't have to. Hey, I got an idea. What do you? I'd like to do something. And like one of your national advertising programs back then, we started in my office, which back then was called the Casa Magna Challenge.
Yeah, Casa Magna Challenge.
He told me what he wanted to do, and it was a little flawed. But I said, look, let's do it like this. I think we could work it out.
We tweaked it a little bit.
We tweaked it a little bit, and it came out great. And it was so successful in our retail stores that next year you launched it like nationally.
Yeah, national campaign. Yeah.
Much stores, and I think there are. I'm not kidding. I think there are still consumers today that look for that cigar just because of that little campaign that you ran. So you're always one of these guys that's never shy, never want to, open to try new things. And I think I've bounced ideas off you. I've called you up and said, "What do you think?" So kudos to you on that because you've taken all that energy and you happen to do it again. It's like now are you looking for a three-peat eventually, or are you good with the repeat?
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
But no, kudos to you, man. It's
Thank you.
a testament to you and what you've been able to do. Because one time you could say you were lucky. You came in, you did a brand, lucky. Now it's your turn, right? One time we could say you were lucky, right? In that Sherman. Now we're going to see, hopefully you're going to knock it out of the park again.
I have no doubts.
The track record, yeah.
Ferio Tego.
Ferio Tego. Ferio Tego.
Hashtag Ferio Tego.
Terence, let me ask you. You were a road warrior. A lot of us were. I mean, the climate of our industry demanded that you hit the road, you beat the streets, you go store to store. you were stationary probably longer than you've ever been.
Yeah, forever. The longest I've ever been in the industry.
How has that changed your approach now moving forward as you manage your time, thinking about how to plan out your time? Do you want to get back to the pace that you were before? Do you think that COVID has brought kind of a different philosophy about how to approach, whether it's sales calls, whether it's events? What has COVID done to sort of your perspective as you now approach normalcy again?
So I think it opened the door where it's a traditional industry, and so we're usually the last to grab new technologies and things, and COVID kind of opened the doors where guys that you would never think would have a Zoom call or something like that were willing to do it.
Right.
They may not still have cash registers.
Yeah. No POS. But they'll do a Zoom, you know?
Totally true.
And so that opened the door for that. And so I think it's going to be kind of a mixture between, again, I still think it's important to see people in person. I think that's one of the really great things about this industry is that intimate connection you make in person, doing things like we're doing right now, having a cigar, having a drink, having a conversation. It's really important. But there's lots of places that are hard to get to or that you can't get to as often as you'd like to. And so that's really an opportunity where we can do these Zoom calls and we can do these new things that we've developed over the last year. And so it's a mix. I think it's a mix. I don't think it's going to be one extreme or the other, but I definitely think that if you can still get enough person-to-person contact in key moments and then the rest of the time utilize the new technologies that have developed, I think that's a home run.
Now, have anything new planned for 2021? I mean, you just came out with Rare Leaf.
Yeah, we came out with Rare Leaf.
Now, Rare Leaf is now a regular production item. It's not going to be like a limited release.
So the idea with Rare Leaf was that...
Isn't that kind of an
it's a balance. So
right? Rare Leaf, but we make it all the time.
Yeah. That was a what?
Oxymoron? Listen, come on, man. We're in hour 7.
Yeah. So, no, usually when you come out, like, when you have tobacco, you have certain lots, you have certain fields that will produce a unique tobacco, which you either kind of dilute into other blends, or you can create a limited edition. And the problem with limited edition, of course, as I'm well aware with our experience, is I get a call from Abe, and Abe says, I need more, my guys are looking for it, where's my boxes, they're calling my competitors, and then, so that causes a problem. And so what we wanted to do, it's true.
I do my job.
With Rare Leaf, the idea is to have our top accounts, our Agonorsa Select accounts, to have consistent access to Rare Leaf consistently throughout the year.
Agonorsa Select accounts.
Yes.
What are Agonorsa Select accounts?
Agonorsa Select accounts are accounts that have they've committed to a certain level of support of Agonorsa and our brands.
Okay.
And in return for that, you can sell lots of great cigars. To reward you for that, we do various things to help your business. And one of them is things like Rare Leaf, where you're going to be the only type of stores that have access to Rare Leaf because of that support. So it's going to be something that is consistently produced, but only available in select retail locations.
Not bad for a Latin high school teacher.
Yeah, we try. We'll try.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We're doing what we can with what we got.
So look, I reached out to you for the greats, but by the way, what do you think of this?
Amazing. Honestly, you guys have done. I thought when I was driving up here, I was watching it as I was driving.
That's great.
Yeah. I only killed 2 people.
That's terrific.
There's a couple of corpses on 95, but I mean, other than that, it's fine. But you could just. My first thought was this rehearsed? Like, was there a bunch of preliminary shows?
We went through some transition scene, like the raffle scene, which we've mastered today. It's been working so well. We went through them. I can hear Monty laughing. We went through some scenes last night just to work through the transitions, but no, I mean, these guys. Michael just flew in yesterday, and Kim and Mel showed up, and
yeah, I can't believe. I mean, I've had the pleasure of seeing Michael many times over the years at Pro Cigar and his charity events in Carnegie Club. So he was not unexpected, but the whole thing altogether to see. Just the transitions and the interviews and how smoothly it's gone. It's really incredible that you've pulled this off.
Thank you.
Kudos to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And you.
Appreciate it.
One would say an amazing job. No?
Yeah.
Amazing
This
job.
is probably the greatest day of our lives.
Amazing.
I don't want to exaggerate.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Terence Reilly.
The greatest day of our whole lives.
So Terence, you're one of the guys who I reached out to. I asked you if you could make us something special for the Great Smoke. Once again, you started brainstorming on what you want to do. And you came up with this right here, which is the Aniversario Great Smoke Edition. Tell us about this cigar.
So this last summer we came out with the Aniversario 109 Maduro. Our Aniversario line is a special line. It's one of our ultra premium lines. And this past summer we released only 250 boxes of
the original release.
Of the original release,
Right.
and that was nationally.
Now let me ask you a question, because as a retailer I got to ask.
Yeah.
Who do you think you're doing a favor when you make 250 boxes for a national release?
This is a conversation for your office. I don't know.
No, I'm just curious, because you know how much grief that causes
yes,
for guys like me?
So the idea of some things like that is that it's not, it does cause grief, but sometimes it will drive customers to your store because people are looking for it. So they'll call different stores, they'll call people, and again, they went to our partners, so they had to at least call our partners to find it. And that's the benefit, is that hopefully, and again, if they call and you're out of them, hey, I've brought a customer to you, and you can turn that customer, there's lots of other Agonorsa you can sell them, or Ferio Tego, or God knows what else. So we're bringing you customers, and the rest is on you.
All right. So you make 250 boxes, and what is this? The similar cigar in different
Yeah,
size?
so this is in a Toro size. This blend was amazing. It got rave reviews. It's honestly probably my favorite blend that we've done since I've been with the company. I thought it was amazing. And again, my opinion doesn't even matter. We're here to sell cigars, and we have to gear to different types of flavor profiles and what people's tastes. But personally, I thought this blend was absolutely incredible. And so we did it in a Toro for you as a special edition for the Great Smoke. And
so anybody who didn't get a chance at the first 250 boxes.
See, another benefit. There was only 250 boxes,
yes.
and now, so again.
And there was what, 100 of these made?
Only 100.
100. Now, did we roll the footage, Monty, of what the cigar looked like? Because it's red. All right, good. Just wanted to make sure. So now, I just want to ask, because I didn't get an update during the break. Steve Saka's sellout? Okay, so here's a guy that was all worried because he didn't want me to limit it. I don't think you'll sell out, Abe, if you only do one per person. Let them buy as many as they want. I said, no, Steve. I want to make as many people happy as possible. So, do you feel any pressure? Because now we've sold out every LE.
I do. Well, yeah.
You're coming around the home stretch. You're the last guy on deck.
Yeah, I do. It's a lot of nerves.
The question is, will he break the internet?
Yeah,
Will you break the internet? So here we go.
Guys, help me out here. Break the internet.
If you were a fan of the Aniversario, you have a chance to try it again. This TGS limited edition is going live now. There we go. Let's see how that goes.
Pressure's on. I'm getting a little nervous.
We're going to find out whether you're really the great white gringo.
Yeah. I could be the average white gringo.
No. Listen, it's been a crazy day. Tons of support.
It's
Michael
amazing.
and I have been kind of taking breaks and looking in the messages and the people watching. It'll take me 2 days to answer all the texts.
We can't.
Just delete it.
Do a video after. Do a community thank you, and we'll catch up on the next.
It's really, really crazy on how much it's been. But listen, I appreciate it. I love you coming in. Thanks for being part of this.
No, thank you. This is amazing. Honestly, I feel pleasure to be with so many great people. Fuente, Perdomo, Saka, so many people.
Kind of incredible. Kind of a cool energy in the air.
No, amazing.
Right? Even here,
it's the greatest day of our lives.
Greatest day of our lives.
Greatest day. I don't want to exaggerate, blow it out of proportion. It's the greatest day of our lives.
Everybody, give it up for Terence Reilly. Thank you very much. Big T.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for it.